So let's just go over this setup again. Daily time frame is bearish from yesterday. I'm anticipating the momentum from yesterday to continue into today at least. So what I was waiting for was a lower time frame swing high to form, which we had on the 4-hour. This is the swing, I believe. I wanted to wait for the previous wick high of either this 4-hour candle or this one to be swept, which we have. We have a market structure shift to the downside, which is shown by this 1-hour bearish close, and on the 15-minute time frame, we have a retracement into a key level here, but ideally I'd like to get in right here to maximize my risk to reward. The only downside to this setup here is that the weekly time frame is, the weekly is bearish here, but if we look overall, this is still pretty bullish. But like I said in my weekly outlook, I do think that there will be opportunities for buys and sells if we're looking from the weekly and the monthly time frame. So this current moment in time, intraday, I'm looking for sells. And I think price will retrace back to this low at least before we start flipping back bullish. But I could be totally wrong. And this could just reverse on me completely after I get tagged in, and then I'll just lose the trade. But this will be trade 1 for 2026 if I do get in. So it looks like price is reacting to this 15-minute order block here. I would like it to retrace just a bit more though. What's the spread on EJ at the moment? Approximately 1 pip. If price gets pretty close but doesn't trigger me in, I might just go in for an instant execution. Based off that spread, but maybe I'll get tagged in here. But if it goes, it goes. It is what it is. Just gonna have a quick look at what these trades are. Pound JPY is moving pretty bullish here. Daily on yen basket is bullish though, and euro is pretty weak. Alright, we're just doing some editing while we're waiting for this potential setup here. I think we might get this retracement. I'm just gonna have a look at this 1 hour. 1 hour's looking pretty meh. I do still think that this is going to continue bullish based off this move. So if we look at the yen basket. So I know in my weekly outlook I said price is mostly ranging, but we are getting that intraday bullish close above the previous day's doji candle here, indicating bullish sentiment, aligned with a change in market structure to the upside. I do think that this could have the potential to flip bearish. Okay, so I've been triggered in on this trade now. Let's just see what happens. Okay, I'll do a recap in a second. Let me just get all my values right. 183.420. 183.610 is stop loss. TP is going to be 1 or 2, I think. Yeah, why not start with a 1 or 2? We'll start with a 1 to 2. So 040. Okay, so let's have a look and see if we got triggered. Here we go. This is FTMO. New 100k challenge. Risking 1% here. Aiming for 1 to 2. Oops. Alright. First trade of the year. Let's see how this goes. We'll do a quick recap. Okay, so initially, weekly outlook. Overall showed bearish move, right? We're having 2 weeks of indecision, potential chance of a retracement to create the new monthly wick. As you can see, monthly was bearish. So I'm using this reaction here, these 2 weeks, as indecision for a potential move to the upside to create that monthly wick, then get that continuation to the downside. Daily time frame mostly looks like a range, but after tapping into the previous monthly low, price is now closed on the daily time frame with a bullish close. This on intraday shows bullish sentiment, so I just think that if we're range trading, this would just continue to the upside. Now that would simply just be a bullish trend on the lower time frame, which if we look at the 1 hour, you can see prices change from bearish to now bullish. Okay, going to the 15-minute, well, I can see here. And this, let's just see this new 4-hour open here. So this is the London session. We have a change state of delivery, new high created. I do think that this is going to be a I do think that this is going to be a retest of this 15-minute order block. Using that and then aligning it with Euro JPY, I do think that this will then flip bearish because Euro is already weak today, as established from comparing Euro USD to AUD USD, Pound USD, and Pound JPY. So given that Euro is weak, if Yen does decide to push bullish, then Euro JPY will tank, right? Now, the only red flag, the second red flag with this one is the monthly time frame, right? So the monthly is bullish, but I did say there would be chances for shorting and buying because we're working on such a small time frame. So we go to the weekly. Weekly did close bearish, but we were reacting to these weekly, previous weekly lows. However, due to the fact that the previous daily candle closed super bearish with conviction, I do think that price will at least come back to the previous daily low before making its mind whether it wants to actually continue bullish. So going with that, I'd simply look for on the lower time frame, such as my 4-hour structure here, price to react at a fair value gap, which we have on the 4-hour here. So we have a 4-hour fair value gap. Price has created an indecisive candle during the Asia session, and I did say in my weekly outlook that we're waiting for a sweep of this high or the high here, or to have some SMT and a strong move to the downside before looking for continuation, right? Before looking for an entry, which is what we got. So we had a sweep of Asia high. We didn't sweep this high, so we won't worry about that, but we did have that strong move to the downside. Change of state delivery as this high low is broken on the 15-minute. Price retracing into a 15-minute fair value gap, as you can see here. Nice wick, and now hopefully this is going to be the continuation of the daily, which would mean that now we're going from bullish structure into ranging structure to now forming the bearish trend on the lower time frame. So let's mark out the trade management. So go for 1 to 2. Now, if everything goes in line with my analysis, this 4-hour candle will close bearish, which is good. It would make me more convinced that price is going to continue to the downside with that 4-hour close momentum, right? So the 1 to 2 should be hit. I could go for more, as the low is actually going to be around a 1 to 3. But I think for my first trade of 2026, I am happy with just a 1 to 2. And that will set up my first little buffer on FTMO as well. So you can see we're currently $171 in profit here. Okay. So let's just wait and see. So trade management wise, is what I'll do is if there is a new low created that closes below this 15-minute here. So just say if the 4-hour closes bearish, price will likely close below this level. I will then start trailing my stop loss to 50% to cover some risk. There shouldn't be any reason for price to come back up into this drawdown level above this level here, because the open of the bearish 4-hour is at 183.466. I wouldn't want price to come back into this high here, into this region. If it does, then it's likely that price is probably going to stop me out anyway. So that will be my risk management, and then I'll go risk free at around 1 to 1.5 risk reward, which will be around this level here. So let's just mark all of that in, hey. So this will be, oops. Yeah, actually turn my volume back on. Yeah, I did. Okay, good. So once per bar close less than this level, message EuroJPY trail stop loss to 50%. Okay. Then we're gonna go risk free at 1 to 1.5 risk reward. Then my TP would be on this level here. So let's just mark that out. Message TP. Cool. You're wondering what these lines are here. This is London Open. Sorry, this is 4-hour. The 4-hour during London, and then this is going to be the New York or pre-New York 4-hour candle. This is marking a few more extra bits here. Mark a structure shift. Probably don't need to mark that one in actually, because I already got one here. A 50-minute fair value gap. Okay. All in all, this is looking pretty good so far. So I'm just gonna mute myself for a bit. Also, I really wanted to get this YouTube stream working, but it just decided not to work for me today. So the first live stream is going to be pre-recorded. I am so sorry. But at least this is live right now, right? Well, the trade's looking excellent so far, actually. Since we entered this, be going risk-free in just a second. I just realized that I didn't actually set this target right on my actual MT5. Hold on, let me just 183 040. There we go. So there, that's a bit better. Readjusted. Be going risk-free in just a second. Let's just see if my auto trade manager kicks in here. Which is stop loss, go to break even here. There we go. Some auto. So I'm copy trading from my private account. That's why it is slightly above entry here. But that's fine. I'm just going to keep it in line with whatever my private account shows. But as you can see, we end 1600 in profit here, aiming for a 1 to 2, which will be around 2.2k for our first trade of 2026. But risk is managed. The nerve-wracking part's done. It's my break-even trigger here. So all I'm waiting for now is for my TP alert to be hit. That's all I'm waiting for. Everything's managed. You know what? I might actually go prepare some dinner, and I'll be back if this alert hits. Actually, I may be back. I may not be back. I might over-record, so we'll just see what happens. Well, dinner is done, and this looks annoying. So, price almost hit my take profit here, but looking like it's retraced after hitting this low here. What I'm going to do here is wait for this 15-minute close. If this closes bullish, then I'll probably... I might close manually. Maybe. Or should I just let it ride out? Nah, I won't close manually. So there's a pretty big fair value gap here that price is respecting on the 15-minute. Ideally, this level should hold right here. So knowing that price pushed down first, I would have liked the new 4-hour candle to push up, create the wick, and then start flipping bearish, but looks like price wants to wick to the low first and potentially move to the upside. I think, so what I'll do is, if price shows a change in state of delivery to the upside, then I'll close manually. I'll take some partials off. Sorry, I'll close manually to secure profits, because if price moves to the upside, then it's likely that it'll probably hit my break even Let's have a quick look at pound JPY here. It's also push bearish. You know what? I'm just gonna leave it. I'm not gonna touch it. I'm just gonna leave it. It's gonna either be break even or it's gonna be a TP. So no touchy from me. I'm just gonna leave it. I'm just gonna have to let it play out. Can't change anything. Just stick to the plan. Okay, gotta get through that mental barrier of losing profits. Okay. So I'm just gonna go back to editing while this runs. Alright. That took a while. I ended up just closing manually, literally just shy of 2R. Just because we've had 1, 2, this would have been the third touch that wouldn't have hit my take profit. And not only that, the spread on Euro JPY is 1 pip. Would have had to have price move an extra pip down here, and I didn't want to risk all of that profit, all of this push for nothing. So I'm glad I closed that manually, because as you can see, price is now retracing, which is technically 2R, as you can see here on FTMO. 1.97k for our first trade of 2026. That's $30 short of 2k, but it's pretty much 2%. So that creates a nice buffer for me for this challenge going into the week, and I mean going into the next month really. So this creates a very nice buffer for me for my next couple of trades to get to that 10% mark. I'll only be trading high quality setups, so hopefully 2 bullets of 1% trades will be enough for me to at least score a winner, another winner. Now let's just have a quick recap on this. Let's go to the daily. Where did all my annotations go? Here we go. So as you can see here on the daily time frame, price created that wick to the upside and is now pushing bearish for that continuation. I do think price is highly likely to come back to this low here, but like I said, I was only aiming for 1 to 2. Price did tap for the 3rd time into this level, and it's also nearly my bedtime, so I didn't want to hold this trade overnight, especially for the first trade of 2026, first trade of my 100k challenge. And as you can see here, that swing low was created, swept that liquidity for Asia high as anticipated, created that move to the downside, retested a 15-minute fair value gap, and hit my take profit. Risk was managed well, very minimal drawdown, very happy with the first trade. So hopefully this trade sets my progress for the year in terms of staying consistent, taking high quality setups, being patient, and just trading my plan. Until next time, catch you.